So now I would like to introduce Mr. Roger Floyd with R3 Youth Fitness.
All right, guys, good morning. I hope all of you are having the absolute best day of your life. Did you have a good morning so far? Did you have a good morning? Any of you guys in the back have had a good morning? Well, listen, whether we have had a good morning or not, I already know that all of us are, because what better way to start the morning than a bunch of entrepreneurs gathered together, ready to present their businesses and receiving other advice. Now, listen, before you guys start checking your watches and rolling your eyes, let's just get straight to the point here. So my name is Roger Dale Floyd. I'm a 13-year-old actor, entrepreneur, and online fitness coach. And my job here is to create disciplined and unstoppable teenagers in this generation. Because most teenagers lack discipline. For those of you who agree, raise your hand. Exactly. So listen, I was not always this strong-minded kid, right? This was me back in December of 2023, okay? I was completely gone, and before you guys start thinking, oh, this was just some little puberty change, no, my mind was like gone, brother. I was out of shape, you know, didn't work out, didn't do any of that. I was skinny, fat, gut jutting out further than my chest, very undisciplined. I had a horrible diet, a bunch of these ultra-processed seed oil-filled foods, right? I had bad habits. I'm not really gonna tell them, but they just were not, they're not appropriate in this crowd. I think you all know what I mean, though. I was addicted to comfort, the #1 success killer. I think all of us know here, comfort is the biggest killer to success. I was like a wannabe thug kid, you know, in this picture I'm trying to fit in, doing like the gang stuff and all this. And the worst one of all is that I gave up on my dreams of providing for my family, my dreams of being able to provide, leading to losing myself. But one day, like any other day, I was scrolling just on social media, and I came across a video of the infamous Navy SEAL David Goggins. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's an ultra marathon runner. He's run 101 miles in 19 hours. Little did I know that this would be the moment that changed my whole life forever, right? So ever since I came across that moment, I did a 100 crunches challenge. On day one, started simple, 50 crunches, then I did a break and did another 50 crunches. And by day 28, when I looked in that mirror, I saw change. I finally knew what success looked like. I go from being the skinny, fat, out of shape, and undisciplined boy to finally getting shredded at just the age of 12. And what I want to help teenagers do, if I can get a six-pack at just 13 years old in under 28 days, why can't other teenagers? You feel me? Raise your hand. Right? And the biggest problem is that most teenagers lack discipline. You see, I see so many teenagers nowadays, even on the streets, right? They're becoming more wannabe gangsters. They're trying to fit in with people that don't even care about them. They don't care who they are. Most of them don't even know their first name. They're starting to eat more ultra-processed, seed oil-filled foods all the time. And the worst one is that they're addicted to horrible things. They have bad habits all the time. And most of them, that starts to consume their mind just like how it did for me, because I was in that exact same position. And the only way to prevent this is the youth hybrid method. What I will teach these teenagers, it's not just some little $997 course. It is because listen, doing one thing is never going to get you the results you want. Because you could do all of the crunches in the world, you could do all of the curls in the world, but if you cannot function that muscle properly, it's completely useless, right? So I do bodybuilding specifically for building your muscle. I teach them calisthenics for core strength and stability, and I'm teaching them the endurance training because whether it be running, cycling, or even boxing, a great athlete must have great endurance. That way these teenagers can have the aesthetic of a bodybuilder, right? They can have the calisthenics, they can have the function of calisthenics, and they can be able to run excellent. And it is always secure and safe. So parents, if you have any parents in here, unlike most fitness coaches who actually just want to make a quick buck, I actually want your kids to achieve success like us and to make sure that they become properly confident. We don't want any arrogance in here. We want to make sure that they are the most confident in themselves to make sure that they never give up on their dreams, right? And most of you are going to probably think, why should we learn from some 13-year-old instead of learning from someone who's had more experience? I want your kids' confidence and wisdom to be through the roof just like mine. Because like earlier, I didn't even know who I was back then. And I want it to always be an enjoyable time and plan not just what is best for them now, but what is best for their future. And you are learning from a fellow teenager. Because listen, most teenagers, like most fitness trainers, are over like 30, 40 years old. And if you're learning from like a 30-year-old fitness trainer, a 13-year-old can't relate to a 30-year-old. Don't you agree?
Yep.
Exactly. So if a 13-year-old's listening from another 13-year-old, they can agree so much better because they know what they're talking about, and their form of success is so much more different than what it was back then, right? So what can we as a community do for you? I want you to help me find a way to earn $5,000 to $6,000 a month to be able to provide for my family, provide for my loved ones, and provide for the people that deserve it. Because yes, I would like this, but most of it will go to the family that has raised me for so long. And I want to be able to grow the social media presence, to be able to become well-known and build an empire of unstoppable teenagers. And we're going to end this presentation off with a quote. The magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. How many people agree with this? Raise your hand. Right? You cannot make excuses in this life. Most people, they sit around all day and they say, oh, I'll do it later. If you're going to do it later, you might as well not even do it at all. I have this exact same problem, right? This is what I'm trying to help with teenagers. I want to help them become the best possible version of themselves. And if you look back here, my username is R3IsUnstoppable. Why? Because it is unstoppable. I want to teach teenagers how to become unstoppable. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have the absolute best day of your life. Take care.
Stay up. That was fantastic. Vanna's going to run the microphone this morning.
Excellent.
Good morning. This is fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Credit goes to your mom.
Of course.
Otherwise, I have no clue what you would have end up with. I know a lot of kids. This is amazing. You are a junior Tony Robbins. Check it out.
I know.
He has
Tony Robbins, yeah.
exactly the same. He has only 1.2 million people watching him at the same time. You can be junior Tony Robbins. Amazing. I would love to help you out. Okay? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, any questions? Rob.
I have a bunch of questions, but I'll start with one and let other people get some in, and then we can always talk later too. So I'm curious to learn, I mean, obviously, before you had that inflection point, you were spending a lot of time on social media. What was it about that specific day that changed your mind to do something about it?
It was the whole shift, all right? I like to call it, it's a little bit of a paradigm shift kind of thing. So I was just scrolling like any other day, looking at girls and all this, and then I scroll, and when I came across that video of him working out, it opened up my mind to a world of possibilities. I like realized just how strong the human mind is. And then from there, I started out slow. I started doing the running and went from 1 lap to 2 lap to 4, and then I went to running whole miles. I did 2 miles a day. Now I'm here doing like 300 push-ups a day, 100 crunches every day, and that's the biggest change though. So it's really helped me out a lot, man. Yes.
So you want to make $5,000 to $6,000 a month. You've got a social media presence. It seems like you've got a plan, but there needs to be a business model, a revenue model. Tell us about that.
The business model is going to be an online fitness coaching program, and I'm teaching these teenagers, like how I said, how they can work out, eat right, and get into the best possible shape of their lives, physically and mentally.
Can you take it a step further? Price points,
Yes.
frequency, commitment.
So mainly the price point, it was high. I have raised it down. It's currently around $159 a month. because with everything that I offer with them, most people think it's expensive, but the question that they need to realize is what is more expensive? The pain of not being able to chase their kids' dreams and avoiding the price point, or being able to actually take a step further, even if it's uncomfortable. Because most people in this room can agree that $159 a month is uncomfortable, but once you chase past that point and look from the future standpoint, you will realize that you can get over it, man. And it can lead to so much more in the future. Because a good body, it's not just a good body, your body is a walking billboard of who you present. Yes.
That was part of my question, so I'm going to pivot a little bit. One, have you reached out to Goggins yet?
I've tried multiple times, never replied to email, but I just kept doing all my own thing.
Okay. I mean, there's a correlation that at some point is probably going to be a major force multiplier for you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself earning over $1 million a month. I see myself being able to retire my parents, move to an excellent city like Dubai or something, but most importantly, I see myself being able to become a young multimillionaire at probably 18 years old and being able to retire my parents. Clear. Yes.
So,
yes, you in the back.
yeah, so I do leadership training, I do speaking, things. You have a great presence and great presentation. I would just kind of encourage you to not just focus all on the socials, but try to get into some of these junior highs, middle schools.
Yeah.
Do some speaking to where you can get some film of you in front of a large crowd. That will help with your socials as well. But also, you know, look beyond just doing the online stuff. Because it's so hard to break through online when there's a lot of noise out there.
Exactly.
You can do a lot with you know, personal going out. You have a great presence. You have a good stage presence. I would get out in front of audiences and actually speak in front of groups too.
I appreciate it. Here.
Do you have a contact slide? You might want to put that up as well. How do we contact you? Who's next?
I do not have a slide, but my mother has flyers in the back. So if any of you are interested, raise your hand if you want a flyer. All right, excellent. So after this presentation, we'll go ahead and pass out flyers and get to know each other more. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fantastic presentation. How old are you again?
13 years old.
You're 13.
I'm 13.
Wow.
That's why I want to start a movement of teenagers, man.
So, yeah, so fantastic, by the way. What are you doing as far as just like Google My Business pages, things that are free, things that you can get a lot of traction from, you can get a lot of business from? Do you have a Google My Business page besides just the socials?
Yeah, I have a website, r3ufitness.com.
Do you have a Google My Business page?
Not quite yet.
Get it.
I'm working on it.
I would 100% say get it, because a lot of people, if you have reviews already of students who have done this, or even just offer it for a really low cost, but then be able to get a ton of reviews, I'm telling you right now, it will help grow your business even more than just a website. And I'm telling you that by experience.
Yeah.
That
Testimonials,
Google My Business pages is huge, and especially for you. You'll get a lot of phone calls, and then people will go to your website. They don't usually go to the website first, unless you're doing like speaking and stuff like that. But I'm telling you right now, Google My Business, and fantastic presentation, man. I wish you all the best.
I've already had actually several testimonials. Do you guys know who Andy Elliott is? He's like he's a 9-figure entrepreneur. He does these sales conferences and all this. He actually had a testimonial for me. And then another guy who was actually a client I work with in Indonesia, so I'm doing this international. I helped him lose 10 kilograms, or 10 kg, in the last probably week or two. So it was all because ever since I introduced him to the fitness coaching, he stuck with it. Because before, he never really posted anything. Now I'm seeing him every day on his stories, posting his runs, posting his cycling. And it really opened up my mind once again, kind of like how it did with Goggins, to realize that as a teenager, there's nothing insurmountable for me.
But get
Well,
those
yes.
customers and parents, especially because they're the ones that
Exactly.
are paying for it.
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
I know you have big dreams, but the parents are most likely going to be paying for it. Get their
Yes.
reviews as well. That's my
Excellent.
suggestion. Great job.
Thank you so much, sir.
Let's say that I buy into this and I become one of your clients. What do I get for my $159 a month? And how are you going to duplicate this with all the people who are out there? It's only one of you.
I have a business partner. So the business partner, he is in Georgia. He's been my friend for over 7 years. We are working together to build a team, and you will get the hybrid training. You will get martial arts, calisthenics, running, weightlifting, stretching, cycling, and dieting. And we are going to offer you a special digital product where I will teach you personally how to do not just the one-on-one fitness coaching, but diet coaching. So I'm gonna give you this complete step-by-step blueprint on how to start a single ingredient diet. And most teenagers cannot have this much value for like $159. You feel me?
Yeah, but let's say that you're really growing quickly. How are you going to deal with thousands of people? You can't give them all individual attention every day.
I can't. That's the thing.
What I want you to do is find somebody older who can mentor you. Could be Shan, don't care who it is.
Exactly.
But you need somebody that you can rely on. What do I do now? Because at 13, you just don't have experience. You certainly have the drive and the ambition and the brains. I mean, this is fabulous. I hope it works for you. But you're going to need help with somebody out there. So find somebody you can rely on that'll give you good advice that you can always turn to, because you're going to run into roadblocks. And I don't want you to get discouraged.
No.
Because this is amazing at your age what you're doing. So get somebody who's willing to help you, okay?
Right. Appreciate it. Sir.
So if I purchase your program and I enroll my son, how do you keep him from losing interest so I'm not just blowing $159 a month and he's blowing off the program, not checking in or whatever?
Me and my friend are going to hold him accountable. So what we do by this is we will hold like daily checkups, whether it be on messages, WhatsApp, whatever. And I do checkups asking him, did you do XYZ today? And then every 2 to 3 times a week, we're going to have an online Zoom session where we run over everything, make sure they did everything. Every Saturday, me and my best friend, my business partner, we are all going to be talking together. And we're going to run over every single thing that they did, kind of like a weekly checkup. And if they missed anything on the boxes, we just motivate them to push even further and give them their why. You understand?
Do you know about your sales funnel yet? Have you gotten to that level?
I'm a master salesman. I have studied sales and marketing.
Sorry, let me be
spot.
more specific, right? So I
Yeah.
did some quick math for you. If your goal is to make $6,000 a month, if you take your price point, divide that into 6,000, it's 40 clients, which is totally sustainable.
Exactly.
Do you know how from the time, so basically prospects to leads to conversations you have to conversion rate, have you seen that kind of a sales funnel before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've studied multiple sales funnels. I'm actually quite working on creating more lead generations and stuff like that. But I've studied sales and marketing for over 1 year. Ever since I started, like back in July of 2024, I started sales and marketing, so I know how to close some of you on the spot.
Which I heard some chuckles. It doesn't sound like too much, but that's a 13th of your life. So like relatively,
Yes,
that's a long time for you, which I love.
Yeah.
What I would recommend is work backwards from where you want to be. So 6,000 means I need 40 clients. So if I'm going to get 40 people to say yes to $159 a month, how many people do I have to talk to about, do you want to say yes or not? And from there, how many eyeballs need to see my thing before I have those conversations? And then you can work out, because just on your numbers, just so you know, this is not a lot of people. You don't have to get to the thousands and thousands to make your first level of goal. And what'll happen, just like he was saying, is as you go to that next level, so when you make it to you probably with what you know right now can make it to the $6,000 a month level on your own. Right, and I still would recommend coaching. Get somebody in your corner when you feel discouraged, right?
Have a mentor.
But every time you level up, you need somebody in the next level above you. So when you're making $6,000 a month, you need somebody that makes $250 a year. When you're making $250 a year, you need somebody that makes $1 million a year, because you only can be coached to the level that they're at. Which I'll tell you, what you do have is I would nobody should ever go to a personal trainer to get a six-pack that doesn't already have a six-pack. And that you got, which is amazing. So just keep that idea in mind for your business. Whatever I'm trying to become, I need to find the person that's already it so I can just learn from them.
Exactly.
Thank you. All right, first off, I love the confidence, but just a quick question. What's stopping a teenager from, asking their parents, for a gym membership, or just asking their parent, hey, can I just go to the gym with you? Why would somebody like, a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever it may be, I want to spend $160 a month and ask their parent, hey, could you spend $160 a month for me to learn from this student, where, I could just go to the gym with my parents and, watch what they're doing? Because I remember when I was 13, I had friends that, started working out, but they would just go with their parents. They weren't spending that $160 a month. Mm-hmm. So, what's kind of that turning point that makes them want to go with you as opposed to, just getting a membership or, watching online videos? Because, there is a plethora of information online.
Exactly.
It's information overload, really. So if anybody really wanted to go online, like YouTube or whatever, and just, hey, quick 20-minute workout for abs, or quick 20-minute, upper body workout, what's stopping them from doing that as opposed to going with you?
They're not learning from a 13-year-old. If you think about it, most people online here, they're 19 years old, they're 20 years old. If a 13-year-old like me is going to be working with another 13-year-old, they can relate to them more. Not only that, they're holding themselves accountable. You feel me?
I get the because you're 13, but for example, I'm 22 years old, right?
Right.
If I want to learn from somebody, like your target audience and target market is, kids your age, 13, 14-year-olds, going into high school. And, for somebody who isn't necessarily 13 or 14, you wouldn't necessarily want them to learn from you. This is primarily just for kids going into high school, correct?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
all teenagers under 18. So I could work with a 17-year-old because, once again, if they do go to the gym with their parents, they see a different form of success than the kid, right? So it's the same as becoming a millionaire. There are so many new ways to become a millionaire now than there were back then. So
I completely agree on that. I mean, but to talk about being a millionaire, like, I'm not a millionaire, you're not currently a millionaire. I think I'm just being realistic. This is no criticism in any way, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
For example, at 17 years old, you're in a completely different spot in life. You're thinking about college. You're graduating high school as opposed to just getting into high school. Those 4 years are critical to your development. Where I was at 13 is not the same person whatsoever when I was, at 17 or 18 years old, for example. So for a 17-year-old to go want to work with a 13-year-old, it's kind of maybe like, no disrespect, but maybe like a step backwards for, progressing in life. Because, they're thinking big now. They're thinking about going to college, doing X, Y, Z, really growing their life. What's stopping them, just from going online or maybe talking to a friend that's, maybe in a sports team at their high school, whatever it may be. Hey, could you just get me in the gym? What's making them pay I think you said $997 or $159 a month.
Yeah, $159 a month. It's number one, the fact that most teenagers, like how you said, they might just go to a friend, hey, can you help me out with this workout? Or, hey, parents, can you help me out with this workout? Mm-hmm. Age is just a number where I come from. So even if I am 13, like how you said, most people, they may choose someone that's older. But if they can realize that I got a six-pack in under 30 days, I got a six-pack in 28 days, and I have the proof in that picture. I mean, I believe that.
You're good.
I'm not really certain how I can put it into words, but it's a certain way of like getting them to be able to realize that it's just, I'm 13, they're 17, and if I can get a six-pack at just 13 years old, why can't they? You feel me?
Can I help just answer that question
Yes.
that I want to share with you just real quick? Your brand, from the words you said and the way your attitude is be young and go hard. Like, you're not let's try the gym. You're like let's change my whole life. Let's go big bang. Let's go crazy nuts. Sorry. Let's go crazy. Let's go nuts. Let's go at it. Your military guys, your I see sports team athletes, and not
Exactly.
like I show up to practice. Like I want to be number one on the squad, so I'm going to do practice after the practice. Those are the kind of people that you need to target that will look at your things, get super inspired and fired up by the way that you talk, and say, let's do this today. Mom, Dad, I need $159. Let's go. You're not the, let me try out a workout kind of a person.
No.
You're a change your whole life, big bang, let's go. Lean into that
Exactly.
messaging
Yeah.
and put that all over everything. Just like be young, go hard.
You're 100% right there, brother. I don't believe that you can just say, oh, I'll try. You need to completely commit to it, bro. It's consistency.
Yeah, that's your tribe. Go find those people.
Exactly.
And spot on with that too, because the main thing is your attitude is going to what attract people. Look, if I can do it, you can do it, versus that wishy-washy. I also, making $1 million a year or $1 million a month is a great goal, but you need to develop yourself here as well into the person that does that. Because you can look at statistically people that win the lottery, they're worse off in 3 or 4 years than they were. Okay?
Because they don't know how to deal with the money. They just, they get it. Their mind didn't change. They still have the broke mindset. So they're just going to blow it off on a bunch of things, and then they end up broke.
Right. So there's some good personal development things that you're going to want to read. You and I'll talk after we're done. But so what can we, as the 1 Million Cups community in Orlando, do for you?
Like how I said, I want you to be able to help me develop some sort of lead generation system, provide me with a mentor to be able to earn $5,000 to $6,000 a month, and be able to provide for my family, and be able to do the things that I want to do in life.
Okay. Congratulations. It's great.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Good job. So can I have my clicker back? Do you have it? I got it.
You have it.
Okay. So good thing. That was great. So Dan Lampert, AKA Stoic Dan, you guys have seen his name on some of our slides and stuff that he provides to us. Unfortunately, Thursday, he was in a car accident and he passed away. Yeah.
I saw him. I saw him.
Yeah, he was.
He stopped by.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah.
That morning.
Yeah. So it's Thursday, right, Eric?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. So unfortunately, so what we've done in the past, because we've lost a couple of great mentors and coaches here, just want to just share a little bit about Stoic Dan. We know a lot of you probably never met him or knew him, but there's some of us who did. Dan was an integral part of this community. Even though he wasn't here, he did a lot of stuff here. He used to be with us. So some of the things, a lot of people, they ask us about a Stoic, and it's really people that are known for their wisdom and philosophy, like Zeno of Chidim, Eric.
Marcus Aurelius, Seneca.
Okay, and people that were known for wisdom, and that was definitely Dan. For me, Dan was always that guy. He ran an ethics class for business owners. He used to have people come in and help them understand, well, if I do this, is that okay? Well, and he taught an ethics class, and he was really very outgoing, willing to help people, and it was he was a great sounding board. And so I greatly enjoyed getting to know Dan, and so this is a big loss for our community. If anybody who knew Dan wants to say a word.
I'm shocked, tell you the truth, because he stopped by on Wednesday. He had his lunch. I had somebody else with me, and he has grown that thing so fast. And he was very, very successful. In fact, he had hired somebody to continue his stuff. It's unbelievable what he was doing. It's very sorry to hear about that. Thank you.
So I had the pleasure of meeting Dan when his brother, who was his business partner for DLC Communications, they were starting their business in 1993. And they hired me as a consultant to help them get their business off the ground, and it's still going. or it was still going. I haven't talked to Dave about it, but Dan was an interesting character. He was someone that you always wanted to hang around, and because you knew you were going to learn something every time. And it's not just the philosophy stuff. That guy could tear a rug like you wouldn't believe. So he was doing ballroom dancing and all kinds of stuff like that. And I went with him a few times, and oh my gosh. That guy looked like Michael Jackson on the dance floor. It was something else. But he had a stoic personality, right? He was never excitable, right? He never went from one extreme to nothing like that. He always looked at things very objectively and in a manner that to me was something to emulate. And so yeah, when I found out about this, that was no fun. Eric, you've been working with him for the last year, so I can imagine. But in any case, I'm gonna miss him. So.
Yeah, I am too. As a matter of fact, I came here with the intention of finding out where's Stoic Dan and starting 1 million cups for kids. We had a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old. No offense to you here, do presentations for us in the past, and they were absolutely fabulous. And he got the idea, why don't we do this for kids? Why are we waiting till they get much older in life to do this? Well, you're amazing for a 13-year-old. But these kids were really good, too. And he was trying to set this up throughout the area for children. And I was just wondering where he was on it. He was an amazing person. He really was. And everything that Rupert said about him is really true. I mean, and you met him, says, where'd this guy come from? He's just amazing. He just had a calmness about him that you just couldn't find. He was amazing. I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Eric?
So I worked with Dan. If you saw his Orlando Stoics social media account for the last over a year, that was me. That was all me. And we would meet every Friday at Donut Central. From 9 to 11, we had our same spot, and I hated it when somebody took our seats. We'd have to move, and when they left, we'd move over and get our seat back. And every Friday, he would order an everything bagel, extra toasted, and he could never eat it all. And so he gave me the other half because he didn't want to take it home. And so for months, I had the bottom half of an everything bagel, and then on Friday, he didn't show up. And I thought, well, I don't know where he is. He usually tells me he's not coming. So I ate the whole bagel. I didn't know that the previous Friday was the last time I would ever share this with him. And so now I'm stuck. Do I go on Friday to my usual spot and sit with him and eat my bottom half of the bagel? Or do I not go? Because I'm going to miss him. He was one of my best friends, and I'm going to miss him terribly.
Anybody else? So, just a little insight into Dan. So, all right. So we're going to get done a little bit early this morning, but great job today. I have to
Thank
tell
you, sir. It was an honor.
That was one of the better presentations that we've had for a while. You hit it out of the park. You did great. Yeah, exactly. But that's it.
Well, you know why do you know why it's called R3?
No.
I am the third Roger in the family. So my grandfather's Roger, my dad's Roger, and I'm Roger. And the reason why it is R3 is because I always say the third time's the charm.
There you go. Love it. Now, have you set up your LLC and you done all of that stuff yet?
I'm looking into it because I realize that, LLCs are the better option for small businesses. So I'm looking into that. So
All right.
it's good though.
Scott?
Can I make a little?
Yeah.
No? So I'm Scott Hill. I run an accelerator program for startups in the hospitality industry. And I am launching my second cohort. The official launch event will be next Wednesday at Frontline Entrepreneurial Studios. And you can ask me about that. And then I'll be starting the cohort on October 13th. And it's Mondays and Wednesdays in the evening on Zoom. I want to say something really quickly. Dan was also a friend of mine. I would often go to the donut shop as well and hang out, and just kind of bouncing a little bit off of what Rupert said. Yes, he had a stoic countenance, as was said, but it was on the side of he always had a smile on his face. So he wasn't overly excitable, but when you think of stoic, if you think of somebody who's just deadpan and serious, no, Dan was a happy person, and stoic was just the philosophy that he touted. So I will miss him as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Stolid, they would call that stolid. He was good. He had a great sense of humor.
So I just want to say, if you guys haven't heard anything else today outside of this amazing presentation that we had, these are the types of connections that are forged in this room every week just by showing up. There are so many resources and personalities and experiences in this room. And if you're not talking to as many people as possible before you leave here every week, you're really missing out on a huge opportunity. So number one, come, but number two, show up and participate and be engaged, because you never know what you're missing out on if you don't. And like Eric said, you never know when it's the last time.
Yeah, so true. And you never know whose spouse you might meet that you become best buds. I don't even get me into that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Numi Castillo. I run a...
Oh, sorry. I'm good. Missed that step.
Yeah, Numi Castillo. I run an AI digital marketing agency. Roger, I don't always do that, but it really motivated me. I would like to help be part of your growth and help you build a platform for free at no cost. Excellent. For you to get the lead generation and the funnels that you need, and we'll have a discussion. I'll give you my contact information.
Excellent.
But I hope you get there. I like to be part of your growth because I think you're going to go places.
I know it for a fact.
I have one thing to ask though, because I had
Yes.
two teenage sons. There's a catch. I'm not going to ask you to train them. One of them is actually very athletic like you. But the other one, I would love for you to have a conversation with him.
Okay.
Yeah, just to develop a friendship there.
Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah. Excellent. And what's your name again, sir? I'm sorry? Numi. Roger. Nice to meet you.
So, these are our sponsors here. As you've heard, we've talked about Donut Central. Salai Coffee is the Peter Correa who provides us the coffee every week. Future Funders is one of our startup funding machines. And Tech Hub is where we are here in the UCF Business Incubator. We meet every Wednesday. The great thing about this is wherever you travel in every time zone at 9 a.m., 8:30, 9 o'clock, there's a 1 Million Cups chapter meeting somewhere. So it's great to go check out other locations that we're at. Like this gentleman here is visiting from Leesburg. So they have a chapter up there, and he's down So it's a great way to get to see some of the other stuff that they're doing, what other things are going. Like and follow us on social media. That's how people will get to know us. Take pictures, post them of different things. Get people interested in what we're doing. Something special that we're doing, October 22nd, we actually are working with a division of actually the U.S., I forget what it is, U.S. Trade Department. Part of what they're doing is they have a group of 22 individual entrepreneurs from all around the world, literally around the world, that have come together, that have been here for a little over a month. They're traveling to 4 different cities. They've been in Washington, D.C. They've met with people at the State Department. And some of these people are extremely successful. And so I would highly recommend, if you want to come get some insight, we're going to do probably a Q&A panel with them. We're going to have one presenter because they want to see what we do. They've expressed to me that they're considering creating something like this, or we'll put them in touch with Kaufman and let them do this where they're from. But they want to see what we do. They want to see a presentation, something like this in the morning when they're here. So that will be a great thing to come in and get to meet international business owners. And if you're looking to do business internationally, make some of those contacts. So coming up on the 3rd Monday, which is what, the
October
20th? I don't see it. Oh, October 20th, okay. We have Orlandopreneur. You want to?
I got news for you. You're all Orlandopreneurs. Okay?
Exactly.
And so you need to be at the Orlandopreneur event, the 3rd Monday of every month. Who here's already been one? Need I say more? Right? So if you haven't been, get there. Okay? It's going to be at Primrose and Lanes down on Primrose at south of Colonial. 150 entrepreneurs, startup founders, investors, coaches, mentors, you name it. And our Make an Impact rating is 11 times meetups mean or average. So I think we get things done. So be there or be square.
Yep, exactly. And I'll give you a little hint. When you go to meetings like that, people, especially that are inexperienced, they show up and they're giving out their cards every here, and it doesn't do anything. Because typically, if you give somebody your card, do they ever call you back? No. So your job is to have a conversation with somebody, get to learn a little bit about them, share a little bit about yourself, and then say, I'd love to get together for a cup of coffee and figure out how we can make some money together. Okay? That line will make you a fortune. All right? And you should go into those meetings with the objective of meeting between 3 to 5 people that you can have a good conversation about and get their card. Okay? They might ask you for yours. Nothing says you have to give it to them. Your job is to collect business cards.
And invite them to 1 million.
And invite them to 1 million cups. Okay? So if you're part of the organizing committee, so if you have any questions about how do you get to come in, how do you get to present, find one of us, we'll help you with that. And connect with somebody, go find a local coffee shop that you can go grab some coffee. Attend, apply, prepare, and present. So when you attend, you got to be here. We like to have you here 2 to 3 times before you do a presentation. Apply, which I'll have a slide up in a second for that. Prepare your presentation. We'll have a coach work with you a little bit to help you get what you need. You will get a rubric, which we'll send out and give you kind of the general format of what we're looking for. And then you come in and you present like Roger did this morning. Okay, why do you want to do that? And that's the website you need to sign up to get registered. So marketing and brand awareness, so people know who you are. And you know something I have to, and what was your name again?
New
New-
N-U-M-I.
All right, so the fact that you got up to say, hey, I'd like to help you, that right there is what this whole room is all about. That's why you want to meet with each other, okay? It's not about I want to meet with you to sell you something. I want to meet with you to help give you some advice and information, introduce you to who I can. Maybe you can teach me something and learn, because you never know who you're going to meet by making connections. So it's all about marketing, brand awareness and exposure, helps you practice and feedback. We do have some people coming back that have presented here about a year ago, so we're starting to get some of that coming in, which is great. Create strategic partnerships, hiring and retaining talent, and then networking experience. This is a great way to practice your pitch. And as we learned from one of our guys who's always here, he said you should be able to tell somebody what you do in 6 words or less, right? You don't have 30 seconds dropping down an elevator anymore to talk. So, and from one of our famous Stoics, our quote of the day, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. From Marcus Aurelius. Yes, that one. Thank you very much. And if you didn't get a chance to scan in, please do so. Have yourselves a great day and go make some money this week.
Thank you.